Am I 25 male overreacting to the cake my girlfriend 24 female of 3 years got me? Throwaway because my girlfriend follows my main. So me and my girlfriend have been together for almost 3 years, and this is the first big fight we've ever had. For some context, our birthdays were last week and are 1 day apart. We decided to do a joint party with all of our friends with the agreement we would each get each other the cake that the other wanted. My girlfriend's favorite cake is a local specialty only made at one restaurant in the next town over. I, on the other hand, love cheesecake. I told her it could be any cheesecake and I'd be fine with the one from our local supermarket as it's pretty good. So the day before the party, I drove about an hour each way to get my girlfriend's cake. So we had the party and everything was going great until we brought the cakes out. My girlfriend had gotten me just a cookie cake instead of a cheesecake. Why? Does she not know you, bro? Does she not know you at all? You even said, though, you're like, oh, any cheesecake will do. Literally any cheesecake will do. What about a cheesecake with a cookie cake crust minus the cheesecake? That's what she showed up with. This really made me upset as I don't even like cookie cake that much. The cake part is fine. I just don't like the icing. Dude, hold on a second. How long have you been together? 3 years. You've been together 3 years. I feel like she should know this about you by now. I didn't say anything at the party, but when we got home, I told my girlfriend I was really upset she didn't give me the cake I wanted when I got her the one she wanted. But she told me that I was overreacting and only little kids care about their birthday cake this much. Bish brought the fighting words out. She done said it. These fighting words here in cake country, you don't sling that kind of crap around. Our friends are split between whether it's a big deal or not, so should I let this go or is it a serious issue? I mean, look. To quote Tony Spark, listen. I may not be completely unbiased here because you guys know my feelings on cake. And I think this, just even without my love of cake involved here, she was an extraordinary asshole here by not just not getting you the cake that you didn't just rely on her to remember as some kind of test of her love. You specifically told her, any cheesecake will do. It wasn't even a hard task. You drove an hour both ways to get the specific cake that she wanted. You were very general about the kind of cake that you wanted, except for it had to be cheesecake and she couldn't deliver. She should understand that you would be upset because she failed you. And then, she says that only little kids care about their birthday cake this much. Do you think she said it because she was just trying to backpedal herself out of trouble and she knew she had screwed up? Because let's entertain that for a second. If that's the case and she's like, shit, I done did it. How do I get out of this? Maybe try to minimize it. Only little kids care about their birthday cake that much. No, that just made it worse. She made it worse. And if she was thinking about what was coming out of her mouth, she would have realized that she was about to make it worse and been like, hold those words in and just look them in the eye and say, I'm sorry. Those were the only words that were needed right then. I'm sorry. Let's go get a cheesecake right now. I screwed up. What reason did she have for going to the same grocery store or wherever that had both kinds of cake and making this selection instead of this one? That I don't get. The amount of effort that she had to put into it was no different for getting the wrong cake as getting the right cake. And I thought about this a lot, not this story, but in general, I think when you're making the choice to do something wrong or do something right, it normally requires the same amount of energy to do it right as it does to do it wrong. Sometimes it's harder to do it wrong. In this case, it was the same amount of effort, and she chose to not give a shit. As much as I try to not get fired up about cake, I get fired up about cake. I'm sorry. The question was, am I 25 male overreacting to the cake my girlfriend 24 female of 3 years got me or didn't get me? NTA. No, sir. It's not just the cake. It's not just, the cake is symbolic here. The cake is symbolic for, I value you as a human being. And I think the shittiest part about all this is that OP went to a lot more effort to do the right thing because he didn't have a choice. If he was going to do it right, it was going to be a 2-hour drive, an hour there, an hour back. He had to plan ahead and probably talk to that restaurant and order it in advance. He had to go to a large amount of effort to get this right. And he did. He got it right. He showed her that he values her that much. She couldn't even get close to reciprocating, which we're which required so much less effort. She is an asshole. And then told you were acting like a little child about it. No. Where shall we put this heinous, unloving, cake-neglecting biznatch? Where she belong. She definitely is over a 4, could have done it differently. Definitely is over a 3, should have done it differently. She's definitely at least a 2. She definitely shouldn't have done what she did. I feel like, the cake fire inside of me is pointing to ASCON 1, but I have to kind of separate that out and say, was this malicious? Was it evil? If she hadn't have said what she said in the very end about only little kids care about cake this much, it wouldn't have gotten her as high as it got her. I feel like it wouldn't have. But because she had to take this last second dig, instead of just apologizing, I think it becomes malicious at that point. Yep. Here we go. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship to and through the space. ASCON 1.